this little video is spinal sequence, really encouraging daily spinal movement, and really finding fluidity in the joints that make up the spine and the hips, really, and the thoracic, the limbs, joints of the body, really. So without further ado, finding everything you need before we begin, or really I do encourage sort of watching one time through and then giving it a try on your own. So the most important thing anytime we're practicing any kind of movement therapy, always listening to the wisdom of your body. So if there's anything that is alarming, make sure that you are paying attention with loving awareness, so that you can, adjust accordingly, really. And so not necessarily moving around something to make a particular movement happen in your body, like forcefully, but even more so finding sort of the reality of where you are and letting that be an area of exploration to you. Okay, so finding like really tiny micro movements inside of that place. Okay, so without further ado, I've got a blanket, I've got a bolster, and I've got a couple of blocks. Blocks you might want, depending on your flexibility level at the moment, 2 or more. Okay, more is better if it's possible. Even a chair, actually, for the final part of the sequence is would be a helpful tool to have if you lack flexibility of the hips and the lower spine. Okay, so let's get started. So just like taking a moment and just checking in, finding a comfortable seat or an easy pose, whatever feels right. And just taking a moment to breathe 3 or 4 breath cycles in through the nose and out through the mouth, maybe to begin. And then start feeling that breath as it pulls into the body, noticing what it does in the ribs and the belly, and just sort of feel good, a few breaths. And so we'll start just in a hands and knees position. So we are going to be on our knees a little bit, so for most of this. So if you want to use an added blanket to bring your knee onto, or folding up or double matting, that is an option I might have wanted to begin with. And we'll just start in hands and knees here. So starting in hands and knees, and just sort of feeling around, shifting the hips from side to side. Maybe just rocking the pelvis back and forth like you're pulling your tailbone towards the back of your head, and then maybe your pubic bone towards your belly button, sort of hollowing out your belly. Nice, try that once or twice, and then with the head, tuck the chin like you're pulling the chin towards the throat, and then taking the back of the head and trying to squeeze it between your shoulder blades. And then chin to throat again, and then squeezing the back of the head in towards the shoulder blades. Nice, and then just coming out of the joints, pushing the ground away, and then letting the heart sort of fall forward, pushing the ground away with the hands, and heart falls forward, pushing the hands away. Nice. All right, just getting a sense and feel what the body is doing, feeling right now. All right, and then we're going to bring our one foot up. So this is my left foot up. I might want to block for where my hands are going to go. All right, and then I'm going to come all the way up into a standing knee position. Okay, and we're going to raise our right hand up to the sky. Reaching, seeing if you can get length from the knee that is down all the way up through the fingertips. See if you can find a really long spine and long reach. Nice. And then we're going to bring that hand down to the left knee and then sweep the the left hand back. Reaching towards the wall behind you, but if there's any pain or discomfort here, you can always start with touching the shoulder and leading with the elbow, okay? And then we're just gonna come forward, okay? And then again, we're gonna reach, let's reach both hands up. We'll bring the hands down through prayer, touch the knee, sweep the left arm back, and just look over that left shoulder. Try to keep the foot and the pelvis, so the foot, the feet, and the sort of parts that are touching the ground. So the left foot and the right knee are pressing into the ground, keeping the hips stable and fixed. And then rotating with the trunk of the body, and then just come on back around. All right, so we can do that a couple more times with the breath, or we can come up, hands through prayer, reaching with that right hand way up to the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the hand this time for sort of variation 2 down to the ground or down to a block right beside that left foot. And then you're going to reach either with the elbow to start, fingertips to the top of the shoulder, elbow reaches. We're going to tuck the chin. Imagine you've got like a little orange between the chin and the throat. You're just holding on to that orange. Press that left foot down, press the right hand down. And if you want to, you can reach. So this is variation number 2. Nice. And then we're going to come back down and around. Back to still, back to neutral. Beautiful, twisting through the spine, finding movement in the joints here. All right, the final one, going a little bit deeper. Actually, well, you could go all the way down onto just your hand onto the ground. So we would go inhale, exhale, coming into rotation, bringing the hand all the way down to the ground, leading with the elbow first, fingertips touching the shoulder, tucking that clementine or with the chin and the throat, and then eventually reaching up to the sky. And if it feels right, you can guide the eyes and the nose up to look at that left hand, spiraling. All right, and see if you can press the left hand against the wall behind you. Nice. And foot of the left foot and the right knee are pressing into the ground nice and strong. Right hand is 2. And then we're going to come all the way down, around, spiraling, all the way back up to prayer. Inhale, both hands up. Variation number 4, I guess. Coming all the way down. And same thing, you could bring a block underneath if you don't have quite the range. You're going to come into twist, landing with the elbow under the shoulder, leading with, once again, the elbow, left fingertips at the top of the shoulder, leading with the elbow, tucking the clementine with the throat, between the throat and the chin, eventually reaching the arm up, nice and spiraling. So pressing the left foot down into the ground, pressing the right knee down into the ground, elbow and hand of the right hand that's on the ground, pressing it just with intention, deliberate intention, not strenuously. And then pressing the top arm, reaching, imagine you're like reaching up to the sky, sort of reach out of the joint, and then press the back of the hand and the shoulder blade on the left side. So left shoulder blade, left back of the hand. Imagine you're pulling it towards the wall behind you. Nice. And then coming back around. So choosing your variation and maybe choosing the sort of the more sort of available variations for you and working your way down. We're just going to use the breath to guide us through the movement. So here we go. So inhaling, choosing your own variation, reaching up, exhaling, coming into your variation of the twist. Beautiful, reaching the hand, pressing the shoulder blade and the hand. And then when you're ready for the exhale, I want you to sweep your body back around, all meeting up in that starting point. And then inhaling, both arms up. Beautiful, exhaling, finding your variation of the twist. This time, I want you to take that hand and press it, and take the shoulder and press it. Find the clementine between the chin and the throat. And then I want you to press the palm of your hand, rotate so the palm of the hand is pressing against the wall behind you. Nice, and then come back to neutral. And we'll explore that a little more next time. Last one, here we go. Big inhale. Nice exhale, floating forward, dropping that hand, finding your twist, leading with the hand and the shoulder at once, pressing left foot into the ground, right knee into the ground, the knee and the foot into the ground, and the elbow into the ground. Nice, and then coming out all the way up. Okay, and then of course we're going to repeat this on the other side, but I'm going to let you do that on your own. So moving on from here, we're finding a little more strength building and creating strong postural muscles. So we're going to go back again into your variation of the twist, inhaling and exhaling into your variation of the twist. All right, pressing the foot that's down and the knee that's down and the hand that's down strongly into the ground. And then imagine you're squeezing the scapula together. Nice, chin travels towards the throat, clenching that little clementine. All right, and then variations of this. So we're going to press the palm of the hand. We're going to travel the thumb away from our head. So you're pointing your thumb away from you now, that top hand. Rotate the palm towards the wall behind you. Nice, and then travel the thumb so that the back of the hand is pressing the thumb of the back of the hand. The back of the thumb of the hand are reaching behind you. So we're rotating the palm to palm forward and backwards, and just feeling what's happening in the shoulder. And then I want you to bring your attention back to your throat, your chin to sort of the throat, like you got a little clementine, finding length in the spine, pressing the hand and the foot and the knee down. And then just statically now, back of the hand reaching towards that wall behind you. Press, 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 press. Really pressing now the hand into the ground, and imagine you're pulling the hand that's in the sky away from it. So really actively moving the arms in opposite directions, and see, this is really where the real work's coming in as we start to engage these deep core muscles, these little intrinsic muscles of the spine. Continue pressing, and then I want you to, the hand that's down, I want you to sort of grasp the ground, sort of curl the knuckles, pressing them into the ground. If you look down, maybe your little finger pads are white under your nail, really pressing into the ground, pushing the ground away from you, and both hands are pressing back towards the wall behind you. Awesome, and then relax. That was a lot of work. Slowly, mindfully coming out. Nice, and back into your starting position. So our next movement practice, well, first sense and feel that, oh my goodness. You might want to come onto hands and knees here. And of course, now would be a good time to go to the other side, moving any little movements that feel right in the body. All right, and then we're going to go into a lunge, a lower lunge. So this is working mostly with the pelvis and sort of the SI area. So again, this time you're very likely going to want 2, maybe 3 blocks. And this is where my bolster here is going to come in, and my blanket. So some people might really benefit from having a blanket with a little bit of extra height under where the crook of their ankle is going to go. Okay, and so what that's going to look like is this. Okay, and then this bolster here might want to go across the knee, so in the crook of the back knee of the knee that's down. And I do this by placing a block just beside it, and then I place my bolster sort of on my block behind my knee. Okay, so when I sit down, it's kind of supported. Okay, I've got kind of like a little seat here. And of course, remember that your block can go in a number of different heights. So just take your time and make sure that you have a nice stable sort of situation for you to be comfortable with. So the movement pattern is you're coming from this, again, knee down position. So I'm in the opposite position, but of course you're going to use this on both sides evenly. And really, as you're working with the other side, make sure you take time to inspect the differences from one to the other. Maybe you've got more range, maybe there's a pinching, maybe there's a traveling or referred sort of sensation. So being mindful, just use this opportunity. It doesn't have to be every day that you use the movement pattern in a very integrative way like that, but do take time once a week or so to dive a little bit deeper and really sense and feel what's going on. All right, and so from this kneel down position, again, you might like a little bit of cushion, underneath the knee that's down as well. I do on this hard floor. We're so spoiled with the dojo. All right, and so we're going to go into a reverse lunge here. So reverse lunge is just like so. But before we go into it, I want you to just bring both hands on the hips. And I'm just going to show you without the props. So I just want you to arch the low back and then flatten the low back. And I just want you to feel what that feels like in your body. You might want to open that top front leg a little bit wider over to the pinky toe side to open up your center of gravity here. But perhaps bringing the hands to the headlights of the hips here. And what you're going to do is imagine you're pulling the headlights of the hips up or the pubic bone up. You're sort of strengthening or squeezing the muscles of the abdomen. And you can even put your hands just at the pubic bone here and really pull it up. Now, if you've taken some of my classes, you'll know those little muscles we were talking about, and we've had exploration with them. So just using what you know and what you can feel right now, and simply carving a pathway to pull that pubic bone, sense and feel the tissue as you touch the top of the pubic bone with the tops of your fingertips, feeling that muscle as you pull that pubic bone up and noticing sort of a little flexation that happens there. All right, and then on the opposite, we're using the tailbone as our marker, and you're allowing the tailbone or asking the tailbone to travel up, sort of like you're dipping it up between or towards the back of the head. And you can see I've got this big arch. Okay, so if there's any pain or uncomfortable sensation, alarming sensation, of course stop. So here we're flattening, pulling the pubic bone up, and then arching. Imagine pulling the tailbone up between the shoulder blades. Nice, using the landmark of the headlights of the hips. You'll feel the headlights of the hips move forwards and up as you pull the pubic bone up. And then you'll feel the tailbone, or you'll feel the headlights of the hips travel down as you pull the tailbone towards the back of the head. All right, so just finding those movements there. Good. Okay, and then finding your way into this reversed lunge pranayama, setting yourself up however it's necessary. You're going to inhale, both arms up, and exhale, coming down. You can have the hands on the thigh or the hips or on a couple of blocks, and I want you to pull that tailbone towards the back of the head and shift your bum backwards. Let the toes just sort of stay pointed, not flexed, but really be very mindful of pulling that tailbone up between the shoulder blades. Nice. And lunging back. Nice. And then if it feels right, you can start to pull the toes up towards the body or the shin. And if it feels right, you can start leaning your body forward. But be mindful that you don't lose this little arch and the muscle contractions that are creating that arch as you come forward. Nice. And then travel back to neutral, and then we're going to bring our bodies up. And again, pranayama. So that was variation 1. Variation 2, actually variation 1, my apologies, could be just right here. You know, you could just be traveling right back and not be able to descend the hips at all. And so that's okay. Variation 2, variation 3 would be getting rid of the height. So we inhale, we come forward, and you can even rock the tailbone under here, inhaling. Nice. And as we exhale, we're going to rock that tailbone. I really did that in reverse. Rock that tailbone towards the back of the head and start to sit the seat back, stretching, lengthening through the front leg, and then inhale up. Nice. And then again, inhale, and on the exhale, pulling that tailbone up towards back of the head. Beautiful. Depending on where you are, this might be the right place for you. Maybe you want to pull the toes back, encourage a deeper stretch sensation. Maybe you want to start dipping the heart forward, keeping that nice curve, pulling that tailbone up between the shoulder blades. And try not to travel the chin too high. Let the eyes stay forward. Inhale up. And exhale. Last one. Nice. And then we're going to come all the way back up. And then finding your variation, we're going to do a little bit of strength, stabilizing strength. So pulling that tailbone up towards the shoulder blades once again, or to the back of the head. And we're just going to simply move in and out a couple of times. So pulling the pubic bone towards the belly button, making that cat-cow sort of movement pattern as we float into whatever variation, whatever depth of this reverse lunge feels right. Just finding a little bit of movement, fluidity of the pelvis as we move and become a little more strong and coordinated. Beautiful. Coming all the way up, hands down. And then our final practice here, you again might want a couple of blocks nice and close to you. This is a gate pose, so again we're going to have that knee down, opening up the arms, or outstretching one leg, pinky toe side of that foot stays down, strong into the ground. And the movement practice is we're going to rotate. Okay, so we're going to rotate, we're going to stretch our arms out and away. Okay, you might want to look over that back shoulder. All right, and then we're going to drop the opposite hand to the outstretched hand. So the hand that's down is the same as the knee that's down. All right, and I'm on, actually the floor is really best here, right under my shoulder. And again, just like before, we can touch the fingertips to the shoulder and reach the elbow up. All right, tuck that chin like you've got a clementine there. Press the pinky toe side of that foot that's down into the ground, really stabilizing through the pelvis. Nice. And then if it's right for you, again, reach up. And just like before, we're going to press the back of the hand towards the wall behind us, pressing the scapula, the shoulder blade towards the wall behind us. and stabilizing the pelvis by pressing the knee that's down and the foot that's down. Nice, and then we're gonna come back into neutral, and we're gonna try it a couple of times. So once again, that first variation, that could have also been on a block, bringing the earth a little bit closer to you. It could have been on 2 blocks, bringing the earth a little bit closer to you. Okay, and then the next variation would be coming into that gate pose. Beautiful, twisting. Actually, we're gonna twist, my apologies, and come all the way down onto the forearm, reaching the back of the hand, the shoulder blade towards the wall behind you, tucking the chin, pressing the forearm and the hand that's down nice and strong. The outstretched foot is pressing through the pinky toe side. The knee is pressing down, strong into the ground, stabilizing the pelvis, reaching the back of the hand, and then finding your way all the way up. And one more time, opening up into the twist, dropping down into your variation. So we're going to try this 3 or 4 times, sort of with the breath in a sort of fluid style movement. And just like the rest, we'll find our way into the last static pose, pressing strongly that bottom body, the parts of the body that are attached to the ground, strongly anchoring them down into the ground, and then finding that little clementine between the chin and the throat, and reaching the top hand up towards the sky as though you're pulling it out of the socket of the shoulder joint, pressing the back of the hand and the shoulder towards the wall behind you. Nice. And then if it's possible, if it feels right, traveling the thumb away from you, now visualizing pressing the palm of the hand towards the wall behind you, and then re-rotating back of the hand towards the wall behind you. Even rotating a little bit farther, pressing the back of the hand, sort of in a rotating motion. And then palm of the hand, reaching up, finding strength through the areas of the body that are attached to the ground, staying here a few more moments longer, really engaging the muscles, postural muscles, intrinsic stabilizers to activate and rewire, and then just release, coming all the way down. Beautiful. And coming into a child's pose if that feels right, or just hands and knees, taking a moment, maybe in a hero pose, just feeling the effects. Once again, you're going to do both sides, one after the other. And then finally making your way up into a standing position. You can do a little roll up here. And this last little exercise, great, gaining more strength and mobilization, sort of deep core strength, intrinsic strength and mobilization for the spine, for the pelvis. Let's reach the arms up into the sky, and then as we exhale, we're going to come to as deep of a squat. So again, here you could have a chair if you prefer, and then we're going to bring one hand, and if you're in a chair, you could bring one hand to the bottom of the chair that you're sitting on, and we're going to just rotate the hand up. Yeah, and again, same principles. You can use the fingertips to the shoulders, tuck the chin, we're opening the heart up, nice, and then coming all the way up, and inhaling, exhaling, coming to a squat, reversing that, pressing the hand down to the ground or onto a block or onto a couple of blocks, however that's best suited for you. Nice, inhaling, exhale, rotate, finding the squat, leading with the elbow and then the hand, pressing both feet down, Anchoring both hips. Notice where the hips are in space, coming back to neutral. So take notice, rotate, travel into your squat, send the hips back, reach the hand up, and then just notice where the hips are. So the arm that's up in the sky, bring that hip forward slightly, and then back and forward and back, and just sort of notice where they are in space and try to even them out. And then come back to neutral. Nice, squat, inhale, squat down, rotating. Again, shift that hand that's up, shift that hip forward and back, forward and back, and just notice where they are in space. See if you can try to even them out. Tuck the chin and come back to neutral. So after going through sort of 3 rounds in a fluid style manner, back and forth, and then you're gonna sink into it for about 15 or 20 counts. Making sure that the knees and the feet are displacing weight evenly, hips are even, doing the check-in that we just tried, shifting one hip forward and back, and then pressing that arm towards the wall behind you. And eventually coming back to stand. It's actually quite vigorous. And then opposite side, squatting down, finding your rotation, shifting the hips, finding that even distribution of weight, tucking the chin, traveling that top arm towards the wall behind you, anchoring with the hands, the hand and the feet that are connected to the ground, and then coming all the way back up. Okay, so a little longer. That would probably be about the amount of time it'll take you to do both sides start to finish, my guess is. But you can definitely quicken it up and make it a little bit faster and faster for yourself as a movement pattern that you can begin your day with. So you can sort of move and heal and deal better in this life. Peace in, peace out.